Check 1, 2. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Good, good, good. Um, it's wonderful to see all of you here tonight. We have an excellent show coming up. But before we get started, sorry, I have way too much in my hands. Here we go. So coming up, anybody's first time here? Oh, a couple people. Well, welcome to you all. We have next week. We have Bruce Molsky and Tony Trischka. Do you know these guys? Anybody know these musicians? They're amazing musicians. Bruce is an incredible old-time fiddle player. Tony Trischka is a bluegrass banjo player. Tony Trischka was actually Bella Fleck, if you know who Bella Fleck is, his teacher. And he's going to be teaching a workshop as well, Tony Trischka is, and Bruce Molsky is going to be teaching a fiddle workshop. They're both incredible musicians. I think Tony already has like 16 people signed up for the banjo. So if you want to hear 16 banjos going at one time, you should drop by. I know. I know you want to. The next thing we have coming up after that is, actually, this is my band, Furnace Mountain Trio. I'm in a band called Furnace Mountain. We're doing the Dinner and a Show series. So the second Saturday of every month, we are featuring a local act, a local band. And by local, from here to D.C., basically. We have people coming from, West Virginia, Clark County, Loudoun County, the Maryland, D.C. area. So the second Saturday of every month. And it's kind of a cool thing because basically the show is $5. Plus you have to bring a receipt from a local restaurant. So it's, intended to help local businesses out and get a symbiosis going. And the first one was great. It was One Street Over. Nicholas, I know you're in here from One Street Over. And it went really well with beautiful music. And if you don't bring a receipt, then you have to pay another $5 at the door. So basically it's a $10 ticket or $5 with the receipt from a restaurant. And so check the schedule. This is our 6-month brochure. So pick one of these up. So what you see on here, there may be stuff added. This is what we have so far. So the best way to see what we're currently doing is to go on the website, because we will probably add to the 6-month lineup. But this is a really good idea, of what's coming up for the next 6 months. And here in our galleries, up here we have the DG Cooley, the kids' art show, and it is a fundraiser for the animal shelter. And each one of those pieces is $30. You can walk away with a piece of art for $30. There's some wonderful pieces of art there that the kids made, and I think 70% of the proceeds, I believe, go to the animal shelter, the local animal shelter. Sorry, this N95 is a little. And then downstairs we have Justine Gastier Salt. She has this beautiful quilt exhibit. I hope you all had a chance to see that. Isn't it beautiful? She's amazing. Okay, so tonight, this is really great. I'm so excited about this show. Kate here, she's just amazing. I couldn't believe it when I first saw her. I was like, wow, she's a good fiddle player, really good. She's a good singer, really good. Whoa, the guitar. She wrote these songs? I mean, she's just, it's ridiculous. And it's obviously, people, I have a pet peeve when people say, oh, you're so talented. It's like, well, yeah, you're talented, but a ton of work went into this. And with this woman, it is obvious that a lot has gone in, and she's incredibly talented. I'm so excited to have her here. And we also have joining her tonight John Bryant and Paul Hammerton, who are mighty fine musicians themselves. So please make them all feel welcome. Kate MacLeod and the boys.
Well, I think we'll have to work on that band name a little bit. The boys. Ooh, I like that. Because I'm usually like the girl in the band. That's what I'm referred to as, the girl in the band. That girl on stage there, can she move over and sing into that mic there? All right. I love you, I love you. I hear you say I love you. You want to say I love you. You want for me to say it too, but I love you is sometimes a sound. A better sentence could be, how do I love you? How do I know you? How do I lift you up? How do I not let you down? If I love you is sometimes a sound. I might have lost some of my hearing from listening to noise too long. And you can turn a head with a word, but turn a life around with a love that's strong. I love you, I love you. The whole world says I love you. Meanwhile, someone waits and waits and waits and waits for love. Because I love you is sometimes a sound. It could be that the words are just too easy. It could be that some of the meaning is lost. Someone's interpretation. It could be a subject of fiction or too high cost. Now what about the playground and the children of any town, and the barroom and the courtroom and the music of the wedding gowns? If I love you is sometimes a sound. The still small voice that moves me is softer than a heart that pounds, and the sweet chords of our longing become distorted when we bring them down. I love you, I love you. I hear you say I love you. You want to say I love you. You want me to say it too, but I love you is sometimes a sound. A better sentence could be, how do I love you? How do I know you? How do I lift you up? How do I not let you down? If I love you is sometimes a Well, I can't tell you how much fun it is to be here tonight. We didn't really know if it was going to happen, right? It's been like this for almost 2 years now. We've been doing this. My shows have been canceled or changed, or then they limit the number, and then I got so bad this fall again that I didn't organize anything for a couple of months. So this is my first show since my first live show for a while, and I'm really happy to be here. And yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks for the Barnes for inviting me here. I'm going to be doing some of my songs and my fiddle tunes and over the course of the show. And here's another one of my songs. I think I learned a lot about this since the pandemic, and we've all been struggling with our relationship with the bigger world and then our relationship with the things that really matter. So. Drive through the traffic, the world seems a little hazy. Streetlights slow you down. Sirens scream lately, there's so much bad news. But good thing for you that in just a few minutes you'll be with someone who's thought all day of you. You may feel like a small thing in this world, but you could be the world to someone. The winters here can be cold, but not as bleak as some stories like the one that my friend just confided in me. But in just a few words, their silence was heard, and all the empty, angry hurt blew away then truth like a gentle breeze. You may feel like a small thing in this world, but you could be the world to someone. Just lying in bed in the arms of your darling, in a Saturday mood, well, it could be Sunday. Charming words have been said, loving thoughts, talking secrets and fantasies, knowing you are where you want to be. You may feel like a small thing in this world, but you could be the world to someone. You may feel like a small thing in this world, but you could be the world to someone. It's the first song I wrote on this old guitar. I'm going to do a song off my Blooming album. In 2009, I released an album that was produced by Tim O'Brien, and we recorded it in Nashville, and I had this crack band. Man, they were just the best. And we did it all live in the studio in a week. And so these guys, after they played on my recording, they all went on tour with Robert Plant. The whole band. And I joked that Robert stole my backup band. It was great fun. And I'm going to sing this song. You know, I'm from the East here. I grew up around Washington, D.C., but I went to Utah a long time ago, decades ago, and I went out there to study violin making, but I ended up staying out there, and I've learned a lot. And one of the things I've learned about is the West. It's very interesting to grow up in an area like the Eastern Seaboard and then spend so much time in a completely different place. And so I'm going to sing a song of mine about that area, and this was Tim O'Brien's favorite one on the album. He really liked this when we were working on it. And so I still sing this a lot. It's based on a memoir by my friend Teresa Jordan. She grew up on a ranch in Wyoming. And one of the biggest problems out west these days is that people are losing their large tracts of land. They just can't keep them up. Land taxes, and people want to buy their land and drill oil on it, and it's a lot going on out there. And so she lost their family ranch, and this is called Riding the White Horse Home, based on her memoir of the same name, title. This story's trying to make me cry, or is this the Chinook wind in my eye? Was it the fathers fighting sons, the Iron Mountain mortgage, or the passing on that one? Oh, the people buried there, their silver spurs were always passed down to someone. They fixed the old corral, they saved the orphan calf, they built the hall where we had fun. We knew the land so well, we knew each other well. I dream of riding my white horse while nothing would keep fate from taking the ranch away. Oh well, the ladies moved away, the local store and the station they burned down. My daddy broke another leg, and I had my graduation day, yet only the hogback hills will stay here. And a drifting soul I did become, until I wrote down the memories of my loved ones. And now my new love, he's sure the one. He knows where I come from, and we ride horses when we're near some. We knew the land so well, we knew each other well. I dream of riding my white horse while nothing would keep fate from taking the ranch away. I remembered begging with my mom and the little stone under my tongue, how they kept thirst away when I was young. And now I love the life I have, and I've plenty of days to face, but I sure miss the old home place. We knew the land so well, we knew each other well. I dream of riding my white horse while nothing would keep fate from taking the ranch away. You know, folks who have not been here before, they sell wine back there. FYI. I would be having one right now, but I'm working. got another song from out west. I did a lot of research on Butch Cassidy because, first of all, I thought it was so weird that we're celebrating this absolutely, famous criminal. And like I was, I didn't know anything about him, So I thought, what's up with this Butch Cassidy guy? And so I started to do some research on it. I read a couple biographies, and I went and visited the place he hung out. He was born and raised in Utah. And even though Colorado always steals our thunder and everything, everybody thinks that everything cool that happens out west happens in Colorado. It's not true. It happens in Utah. So, for instance, the Sundance Film Festival. So anyway, Butch Cassidy was from Utah, and he was the oldest of 13 kids, and he grew up in a little subsistence farm. And in his early days of his development of his career, shall we call it, he he fought against what he considered the onset of big business. And so he would steal from the ranchers, the big ranchers, and then he would give the cattle to the poor people. And he developed this reputation of being the Robin Hood of the West. And then the other thing he did was when he stole a fortune from somewhere, he would pay off some people's mortgages for them. And so, he was a complicated character, and nobody really knew whether he was paying off the mortgages because he wanted to be kind or if he wanted a place to hide out when he needed to. So it was hard to tell with a guy like that. And there was one distinctive article I read about him, one of his Wild Bunch. He was being interviewed, and they asked him what he thought Butch Cassidy thought of himself. And he said, "I think Butch Cassidy was square with himself in his own estimation." And that's actually a good definition of someone who lives in the West, because that's the way it goes down there. Just put it that way. So I'm going to sing to you Butch Cassidy Was Here. Story of my life. Before he was a rustler, he was Robert Leroy Parker, born in Utah in 1866. He was the first of 13 children, once such a little babe, with no appetite for simple life, and neither would it stay that way. The ground here's so dry here it can choke the means of living, and nature's only kind itself when it's being warm and giving. We've tamed it with provisions, with hats and farms and schemes. Well, why should Bob's life be tamed like that for the sake of someone else's dreams? So he took to wrestling cattle from the long arms of the rich, and he fought against the onset of the big business, and then he took to stealing fortunes from the mining company's spit. And he grew to love the smell of gold, and he grew to love the chase of it. Some say it's all in how you look at it, man. They say it's all in how you look at it. Some say it's all in how you look at it, man. They say it's all in how you look at it. We are an animal of language, and when all was said and done, when he changed his name to Butch Cassidy, it sealed his fate on the tongues of the lawmen and the women and the cowboys and the young. Now people still find wonder in his outlaw trail, guns. The stories of his robberies became renowned throughout the West. He romanced the getaway. His reputation would attest that the discretion of the desert can breed the worst and the best, where even the law was sometimes suspect by the needs of the rest. His wild bunch and their ladies, they grew richer every year. From Castlegate to Robber's Roost, they reigned with little fear, and with the dubious distinction of being fair with the poor. He was square with himself in his own estimation, I'm sure. Some say it's all in how you look at it, ma'am. They say it's all in how you look at it. And by the time his century ended and town lights began to glow, the wild men were driven from the Colorado Plateau. While the banks increased in numbers, so did the posses grow. So they left their canyon country and they headed south through Mexico. And in defining acts of bravery and our relation to fear, who of us will spar with chance well enough to be revered, or grapple with our enemies until our bodies are cold? We might live another year, but we say Butch Cassidy was here. Some say it's all in how you look at it, ma'am. They say it's all in how you look at it. Some say it's all in how you look at it, ma'am. They say it's all in how you look at it. Wow. It's a little bit like riding a horse, that song. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have one of our special guests come up, Mr. John Bryant. He's going to join me on bass here. We're going to do a song by one of my all-time favorite musicians. Her name is Jean Ritchie, and she was from Kentucky and one of America's great folk singers and folk musicians. And I'm going to be working on a full-length project of hers. I'm starting to record it. In fact, I have my first studio session this week coming up to work on trying out her stuff in the studio, and that's my project for this year. I have a whole list of her songs that I'm going to be working on, so I'm looking forward to that. And this is her song called Winter Grace. Ready, John? This is the time you love so well, the time of all the year. When winter calls with chilling breath for fireside and good cheer, the time for man and beast to stand to feel the seasons turn, to watch the stars for secret signs in God's true lessons learned. For the time when the corn is all into the barn, the old cow's breath a frosty white, and the morn along the fallow field doth silver shine. And when cold morning's radiant star falls over hill and plain, we know anew that little babe is born to us again. For man and beast and bird and tree, each one in its own place, we bow our hearts and thank our God for winter's rest and grace, for the time when the corn is all into the barn, the old cow's breath a frosty white, and the morn along the fallow field doth silver shine. Well, I can't wait to sink my teeth into her songs. It's just a little example of her music. Yeah. I've been singing her songs since I was about 20 years old, I think, which is just yesterday, you know. Anyway, we have another special guest. I want to invite onto stage Mr. Paul Hammerton. Just check my tuning here. I have a very special fiddle with me. This is built by Daryl Anger. He's a famous fiddle player. And so he only made 2 of them. So I have one of them, and I'm not letting go of it. Anyway, it's a 5-string. He plays 5 strings all the time, you know, Daryl Anger and a bunch of his cohorts. And I've got this chord that's dang. Okay. So we're going to play a set of tunes of mine. very often I'll have my fiddle out wherever I am, and I write music about what I'm looking at the time or what I sense. And so we're going to do a couple of those here. I'm going to start out with a piece called Sunrise on the Colorado Plateau, which is actually in Utah. It's just, it is actually. The word, the Colorado means a ruddy color. It's the name of a color of the sandstone out there. So most of the Colorado Plateau is in Utah, although it does go over the corner into Colorado, I must admit. But anyway. And then we're going to play a tune called The Train Across the Great Salt Lake. And the Great Salt Lake is this huge, very shallow lake, you know, it's salt. And but there's a track that goes across it. And when the train goes across the tracks, and if you're looking at it, it looks like it's riding on the water. So it's pretty cool. And then we'll do a tune called the Oregon Trail, which goes, a piece of it goes through Utah on its way out west. So here we go. I'm still stepping on myself. Okay, here we go. I promise you I'll get it together. have no idea what I put these guys through to learn those tunes.
She does this all the time.
Anyway, we're going to do another set of tunes before we take a break. This is some more of my fiddle tunes. The first one is called The Land Before Man, and the second one is called The Iowa Hills, which I wrote while I was riding in the back of an SUV around the Iowa Hills. And then the third one is called The Blow Me Down Brook, which is actually in New Hampshire. And it was across the street from my manager's house. And I would be up there visiting, and I'd be out there playing my fiddle, and he'd be in there scolding people for not hiring me, and then I'd be outside writing a fiddle tune. So this is one of those tunes. It worked pretty well, you know. I'd write a tune, he'd scold somebody, you know. Anyway, so here we go with this set of tunes, and we'll take a little break. 1, 2, 3. we'll be back in a few minutes.
songs. You do those on your own?
Oh, yeah.
So we'll go and sit down?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you'll just go sit down when I'm doing those by myself. Yeah. I'm going to tune this up. All right, we're all tuning up for the second half here. Just really excited about seeing people come out. We weren't sure if we're going to be able to have this show at all, the way things have been going. You ready?
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I holding you up?
No, not at all, really.
I'm always the last one to know for some reason. Oh, boy.
We have a song for you all. I think that you all are going to know this, hopefully. If you don't, you will know it by the end of it. And I always welcome you all to sing along. It's a beautiful song by Dolly Parton. Yeah, Dolly Parton.
Oh, Dolly.
What would we do without her? So sing along on this. It's called The Coat of Many Colors. Back through the years I go wandering once again, back to the seasons of my youth. I recall a box of rags that someone gave to us, and how my mama put the rags to use. They were rags of many colors, and any piece was small, and I didn't have a coat, and it was way into the fall. My mama sewed the rags together. She sewed every piece with love. She made my coat of many colors that I was so proud of.
Everybody.
As she sewed, she told the story of the Bible that she read, of how a coat of many colors Joseph wore, and then she said, perhaps this coat will bring you good luck and happiness. And I couldn't wait to wear it, and my mama blessed it with a kiss. Here we go. My coat of many colors that my mama made for me, made only for rags, but I wore it so proudly. Although I had no money, I was rich as I could be, in my coat of many colors that my mama made for me. So with patches on my breeches and holes in both my shoes, in my coat of many colors, I hurried off to school, just to find the others laughing and making fun of me in my coat of many colors that my mama made for me. I didn't understand it, and I tried to make them see that one is only poor only if they choose to be. Although I had no money, I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors that my mama made for me. Here we go. My coat of many colors that my mama made for me, made only for rags, but I wore it so proudly. Although I had no money, I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors that my mama made for me. Although I had no money, I was rich as I could be in my coat of many colors that my mama made for me. Well, back when I was really green at like going into the recording studio and things like that, this guy named Charles Saltel heard me play at a coffee house in Colorado, and Charles Saltel played with Hot Rise, that famous bluegrass group. He was the guitar player, and he's no longer with us. He died of leukemia, but he came up to me and after my show, of which really sucked. It was really bad. No, I'm just saying, I couldn't get my guitar in tune, and like I could tell there were like 15 people out there wanting to come up and tune my guitar for me. But you know, it was just one of those nights. It was like nothing was going right at all, except Charles Saltel came up and said, "Kate, we got to get a record for you." And he was talking about making a recording. That's what he meant.
Oh, really?
We got to get you a record. We got to get you a record. And I thought, what is he talking about? Like, he's going to put me in music jail. Something like that, you know, like, I'm scared to death, you know. Anyway, so he ended up helping me out with my first recording. And then he took those songs to Tim O'Brien and a bunch of people. And that started a whole bunch of stuff happening with people recording my songs. Back when my kids, I was a mom most of the time, and I wasn't out playing or anything. I hadn't really thought of that. I was just trying to get one day at a time, you know, with 3 kids. So anyway, it's been fun and interesting. So I'm going to do this song that was recorded on that recording, that little record, as he called it. And this has been recorded a lot by folks like Laurie Lewis and Molly O'Brien and a bunch of bluegrass people across the country and into the Czech Republic.
Wow.
Anyway, this is called Lark in the Morning. I sing love lost, losing the time, letting it go free. Lark in the morning, another day before me. And I know that your love wasn't born on a promise for me. Lark in the morning, let it go free. But my eyes take me back to the sea of love. love is gone, most likely to some other lark in the morning, let it go free. But my eyes take me back to the scene of love. My eyes take me back. I see no others, and my nights are no more fun. Lark in the morning, another day before me, and I'm making peace with losing a loved one. Lark in the morning, let it go free. But my eyes take me back to the scene of love. My eyes,
Don't you sing beautifully?
All right. I'm going to do a couple just by myself here. These guys don't know these songs, so they'll come back in a few minutes. See, I'm going to do, I know what I'm going to do. A few years ago, I was artist in resident for the Quakers up around Philadelphia, and I spent a few months there writing music. So I'm going to do one of those that I wrote. This is called Fair Winds and Following Seas, which is a nautical term for may you have the winds going your direction and the currents going in your direction. And it was a salutation, and someone would say, may you have fair winds and following seas in your life. So this is a little bit of a mantra for that. It's very simple song. My heart, it is a sail made fine to carry me. Windward do I pray to thee, for fair winds and following seas. I've heard of harbors fair and long to seek asylum there, for raging wars and hate, despair are fair winds and following seas. A sunstone and a compass are bearings by a celestial star, for your way to lead me to fair winds and following seas. Bless the course before me. Bless the boat and the company. Pray I meet God peacefully by fair winds and following seas. My heart, it is a sand made fine to carry me. Windward do I pray to thee, for fair winds and following seas. You all sound like a big crowd. I like that, because this is like half the house, so like really cheer it on. This is great. We have actually people out there watching this by video, so it's nice that we've all learned how to do that in the last couple of years. Wow. Yeah. So usually in the summertime, every summer, I go on a river trip. I'm hired by an expedition company. And they run rivers all over the West and up into Alaska. And they have me do a river trip every year with a friend of mine. He's a famous rare book specialist in Salt Lake City. And his name is Ken Sanders, and he's on Antiques Roadshow a lot. And he and I are buddies about this stuff with the river trip, because I do the music and he does the storytelling and lying. And exaggerating. He's a very good exaggerator. And so we have a program. We do a program every night. And I write a song every day on the river. And so it's interesting. I've noticed, because I travel a lot and I do a lot of group events with people, that it doesn't take very long for people who are spending a little time together in a group to sort of become really fast friends after a while. And so this happens every year on the river trip. We all become really good friends by the end of the trip. And so this is one of those songs I wrote about that. And I wrote this while we were on the Green River. The Green River is out there in Utah. It flows north to south, and it hooks up with Colorado and all that. And so this is called Compañeros on the Rio. Oh, the morning calls for coffee. We strike the camp and do the packing. We are a motley group of travelers, of foreign languages and stragglers. Ooh, my compañeros on the Rio. We might have been strangers at the no longer strangers by the end of the green. In our sandals and our saris, with our paddles and our stories, we ride the rapids in succession, in conversation and confession. Ooh, the compañeros on the Rio. We might have been strangers at the pudding, no longer strangers by the end of the green. arches in the sandstone. We see a heron and a cowbone. In the canyons of desolation, we bathe in the waters of the Rio Verde. And if we had once been strangers in a world full of danger, in our world full of wonder, we ride on the rivers of forever. Ooh, by compañeros of Rio, we might have been strangers at the put-in, no longer strangers by the end of the green, no longer strangers by the end of the green, no longer strangers by the end of the green. You guys want to come back up? Yeah, come on back up here. I need some company up here. Oh, I'm going to get my fiddle up again. Put this down here. This very special guitar. I've named her after Jean Ritchie. Her name is Jean.
This one doesn't have a name. Because it's not that famous, really.
But the person that I bought this guitar is in the audience tonight. And my mom's here. And my mom's 96 years old. Mom. She lives in Harper's Ferry. And she's a really great artist. She has a lot of artwork about Harper's Ferry. And she still makes and they sell her drawings on Christmas ornaments up at the Vintage Lady in Harper's Ferry. Yeah. You have one of hers. All right, there you go. And my sister's here. That's right. Susan's here. My sister's here. It's pretty cool.
You didn't know that?
So, we're going to do I have these fine musicians up here, just like, and you all know these people probably because you've heard them in many other circumstances. So, we didn't, So, but it's the first time I've played with them, and it's anything close to like this, so it's kind of fun. But I didn't want to waste Paul's voice without you hearing him sing a song, so we're going to have Paul sing a song. What have you got up your sleeve there?
Well, thank you, Kate. I never thought I'd get the opportunity, but thank God you squeezed me in here. This is great. I'm not sure whether this was in the plan, was it? But
What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to do a song by a guy named Earl Montgomery, and he wrote this song. And it was recorded by George Jones, I believe, in the late 60s. And judging by the audience, I think you probably know who I'm talking about. And anyway, it's called Where Grass Won't Grow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the dirt was clay, it was the color of the blood in me. On a 12-acre farm on a reach in South Tennessee, we left our sweat all over the land behind a mule who watched grow, row after row, trying to raise corn and cotton on the ground so poor the grass won't grow. There was one little store in a holler we all called town. It belonged to a kind old man named Henry Brown. He gave us credit in the wintertime so we could live through the cold. the snow, trying to raise corn and cotton on the ground so poor the grass won't grow. Well, the girl I loved walked through the fields with me. She was a hard-working woman, true as one can be. Then one year the sickness came and quickly took its toll. Janie had to go. Now she lies asleep underground so poor the grass won't grow. As I stood here looking over this part of Tennessee, well, the fields are bare as far as the eye can see. And on that spot where Janie lies, a beautiful sight to behold, and nobody knows. While there's flowers blooming on the ground so poor the grass won't grow.
That's fun.
Your turn.
All right, we're going to do some fiddle tunes. Well, I'm going to start out with something by myself. I think here. I think I changed what I was going to do. I'm surprised these guys. But we'll do the next one right. The one that you join in, I'll start that one right.
Oh, good. That'll be a first. Good.
Yeah, I know. He's already figured that out.
I'll believe it when I see it.
All right, so I'm gonna start this set of tunes out with I've studied a lot of Irish fiddling and Scottish fiddling, and Irish fiddling was my first fiddle style, and I have to say it's still one of my all-time favorites. And but I learned an interesting thing about a kind of tune that really only shows up in the Irish repertoire, and that is the air. And I love airs, so I'm going to play an air, which is it's a slow tune. It allows a lot of room for the tempo to kind of come and go. So this is one of mine. This is called "There Is a Place," and then we're going to play an Irish tune, and then we're going to play an old spiritual called "Bound to Go." Bound to Go is a really cool song. By the time you get through the first verse, you'll be singing along, I hope. Don't let that scare you away. It can. march on, member, bound to go. Been to the ferry, bound to go. Left St. Helena, bound to go. Bid 'em fare thee well. If I build my house upon the sand, oh yes, the Lord, where the first wind comes and blows it down. Oh yes, Lord, where march on, member, bound to go. Been to the ferry, bound to go. Left St. Helena, bound to go. Bid 'em fare thee well. I was a-walking along, oh yes, the Lord saw heaven's berries hanging down. Oh yes, Lord, well, march on, member, bound to go. Been to the ferry, bound to go. Left St. Helena, bound to go. Bid 'em fare thee well. I took my brothers 2 by 2, oh yes, Lord, I took my sisters 3 by 3, oh yes, Lord, where march on, member, bound to go. Been to the ferry, bound to go. Left St. Helena, bound to go. Bid 'em fare thee well. I was a-walking along, oh yes, the Lord, saw heaven's berries hanging down. Oh yes, Lord, well, march on, member, bound to go. Been to the ferry, bound to go. Left St. Helena, bound to go. Bid 'em fare thee well.
Very nice, Kate.
That's very nice of you to say so, Paul. We have another one to do, and then it's my bare last number, at least for the 3 of us. We're going to close this with a tune. This is an old song of mine that I actually rewrote an old spiritual. I needed to do an event one time and I didn't have just the right song. And I run into this a lot as a musician, you know. It's like somebody wants me to come and do something. I go, I don't have the right song for it. What do I do? And like I go through all my notebooks and my songbooks, and it's just not quite the right thing. And so I end up writing something sometimes. And in this case, I actually took an old spiritual called "Open the Window, Noah," and I rewrote it. And now it's, in my version, it's called Let the Dove Come In. And I can do that in folk music, you know? We can do that in folk music. It's one of the fun things about it. And I have a lot of fun messing around with things like that. All right. Shall we do this, y'all? Let the Dove Come In. This is also, you're going to want to sing. And if you don't, we'll never leave.
Promise.
Sorry, here we go.
Open the window, let the dove come in. Little bird flew to the window and mourned. Open the window, let the dove come in. Little bird mourning for all the people. Open the window, open the window, let the dove come in. Open the window, let the dove come in. Oh, the little bird brought back the olive leaf. Open the window, let the dove come in. Little bird brought back the olive leaf. Open the window, let the dove come in. The little bird flies for all of the people. Open the window, open the window, let the dove come in. Open the window, let the dove come in. Bird brought us a sound of peace. Open the window, let the dove come in. Little bird brought us a song of peace. Open the window, let the dove come in. The little bird of peace for all of the people. Open the window, open the window, let the dove come in. Open the window, let the dove come in. Open the window, let the dove come in.
Kate MacLeod.
And Paul and John. Give a hand to them. Thank you, guys. Oh, okay. All right. People are standing up. All right. Let's see. Okay. All right. I'm going to do some on my fiddle, I think. You know, okay. All right. I'm going to do a couple of songs with my fiddle, I think. Let me just have a sip of water. This is a lot of work. You have no idea. Because the violin's a lot of work. Yeah. I don't know how I signed up for this. But I did when I was really little, before I had time to even think about it. I signed up for it. I asked for it. I'm playing the violin still. Anyway, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna do a couple of things on the fiddle. One of them is kind of a new thing I'm working on, and I thought it'd be fun. Maybe I'll just, sing it tonight. And then I'll play something that maybe you all will know. Maybe.
All the way from where you live. And the road was straight, I could be there now, wouldn't have to take the bridge. If the road was straight, I could be there now, wouldn't have to take the long way round. Oh, hummingbird, I love you and every song you sing. If I had a wish to come true, that hummingbird, you'd love me too. A song comes over the ridge. I can hear you humming all day long, all the way from where I live. And if I had a day for every song your lovely voice would lift, if I had a day for every song forever I could live. Oh, hummingbird, I love you and every song you sing. If I had a wish to come true, that hummingbird, you'll love me too. The moon comes over the ridge. It's the same old moon that lit your eyes the night that we first kissed. And if I had a kiss for every time I'd ever think of you, if I had a kiss for every time kissing is all we do. Oh, hummingbird, I love you and every song you sing. If I had a wish to come true, that hummingbird, you'll love me too.
last song for the night, and then I'll get a glass of wine.
On the first part of the journey, I was looking at all the life. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. Well, the first thing I met was a fly with a buzz and a sky with no clouds. The heat was hot and the ground was dry and the air was full of sound. I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert you can remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 la. After 2 days in the desert sun, my skin began to turn red. After 3 days in the desert fun, I'm looking at a riverbed. And the story you told of the river that flowed made me sad to think it was dead. 'Cause I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. And in the desert you can remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 la. After 9 days I let the horse run free, 'cause the desert had turned to sea. There were plants and birds and rocks and things. There was sand and hills and rings. And the ocean is a desert with its life underground and the perfect skies above. Under the cities lies a heart made of ground, but the humans will give no love. 'Cause I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It felt good to be out of the rain. 'Cause in the desert you can remember your name, 'cause there ain't no one for to give you no pain. La 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 la.
That was a little bit much fun. All right, thank you all and good night. And actually, we want to make sure we thank all of the staff and Nathan, the sound guy. Yes.